So, true or false? You, a hearing person, if you are with a deaf or hard of hearing person and you want to watch TV together or listening to something, and you are not much of a captions fan, will turning up the audio be beneficial for the deaf person you are with and they don't have to have captions? The answer is false, but also true. The real answer is it's all going to depend on each individual. If they're hard of hearing, you're probably going to get by with that. If they're deaf, even with some residual hearing like me, probably not. This video is actually inspired by a comment that was left in my video about how hearing people say, you don't need captions, I can understand you. I probably should have done a video on this earlier, but I just never got around to it. Never really thought about it. Or it's just one of those things that was always on my list, but I never actually filmed it. So this kind of thing has sort of happened to me before in US history, you know, when you're supposed to watch videos and then take notes. I told my US history teacher, hey, I need captions on this thing, otherwise I can't really do the assignment because I'm not gonna know everything, I'm not gonna understand everything. And his response was, well, just sit in front of the computer speaker, it'll be louder, it'll be helpful. It wasn't, thus my assignment was incomplete, and therefore my history teacher decided to make fun of me and read my answers and literally laugh about them in front of the class, and the class laughed along with them. So here's the thing, right? If you're hard of hearing, if somebody's got enough hearing, it might work to turn things up, but if you're watching the television, it's probably not going to work because the sound is more spread out. Whereas if you are watching a YouTube video, it's easier to get by without captions if you got the sound directly in your ear. For me, I can watch some YouTubers without any closed captions on their videos as long as I got earbuds in my ears. But I would not be able to understand that same YouTuber if we were just watching it on the television because the sound is so spread out. And no amount of turning the audio up is going to help. It's either going to, I'm not going to hear it, or it's just going to be muffled. Sometimes I have my TV up very, very loudly, but I still have the captions on. I just have it up very loud so I can hear some of that sound because I just want some of that sound, but I know I'm not going to be able to understand everything that's being said. Maybe a couple of words, but no. In fact, yesterday I saw a commercial and there were no captions on it, but the only words I heard were but and sometimes. No, wait, that was the memorial I went to. The commercial said the word value. That was the only word I got out of everything. Now, if you were to turn the audio up on the television, then you sit like directly in front of the speakers, yeah, it's going to be louder, but that doesn't mean it's going to be any more clear, and it doesn't mean you're gonna understand it. It's just muffled. And in fact, turning it up can make it worse because then you're just having so much noise in your ears to the point where it might actually hurt your ears, and then you just won't be able to figure out what's being said because you're too busy going ow, 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 ow. So the moral of the story, hearing folks, if you're with somebody who needs captions and they tell you they need captions or they even ask politely for captions, they're asking politely. How can you say no? Don't tell them that all they need to do is turn it up because frankly, we know more about what we can understand and what we can't understand better than you. I remember when I went to my ex-friend's house once and we were watching The Evil Dead, the newer one, and I didn't even say anything, but her boyfriend, also my friend at the time, just went and turned on the captions for me. I didn't say anything, I didn't ask for anything, and I was like, oh wow. That's probably the first time then that anybody had put on any captions for me, besides my dad, but whatever. I don't think anybody has ever, besides the teacher, like I don't think a friend has actually said, no, just turn it up. And if that ever did happen, I would probably walk out the door. Because if I'm not important enough to you and you don't realize that I need captions and you don't think they're good enough for me or I'm good enough for them, what am I trying to say here? You probably know what I'm trying to say here, but if I'm not, I don't know. If you just refuse, I'm going to refuse giving you my company, basically, right? If you want to follow me on all my social media, links to that will be down below. If you want to help support my content, you can do so by being a monthly patron on Patreon, or you can leave tips on Coffee. Both links will be down below. I upload every Mondays, Thursdays, and sometimes Saturdays, and I will see you later. Bye.